The poet's name is Gail Gardner. He was born in Prescott. Anybody been to Prescott? Come on, I need a girl. Have you been to Prescott?
Yeah.
Oh, can I borrow you for just a second?
Sure.
It's an easy Okay, so Gail Gardner, born in Prescott in 1892. That's the year this place became the first National Archaeological Preserve. He wrote the poem in 1918. That's the year this place became the 5th National Monument. Back to your history lesson there. Okay. He was a son of a rich ranching family. They wanted him to be someplace. They sent him back to the East Coast to go to school. He went to Dartmouth, graduated from Dartmouth, came back, and became a cowboy. That's what he wanted from the get-go. He didn't cowboy too long. He injured a leg in a riding accident. He ended up being the postmaster in Prescott the balance of his life. He died in the family home at age 95 with a lot of poetry written. Anyway, this is his most popular one. It's cowboy stuff. And if you've been to Prescott, you know that's high desert, kind of where the high desert meets the forest, Prescott National Forest. So these cowboys were out there. So way up there in them Syrie Peaks where the yellow pines grow tall, well, old Buster Jiggs and Sandy Bob, they had a roundup camp last fall. They took some horses and some running irons and maybe a dog or two, and they'd brand every long-eared calf that came within their view. Every long-eared doggy didn't hush up those days, why he got his old ears whittled and his old hide scorched in some most artistic sort of ways. But one fine day, said Buster Jiggs as he throwed his Chigo down, that's his branding iron, he said, "Boys, I had enough of this here cowboy biography, and I'm going to town." So they saddles him up and they hits him a lope, for it weren't no sight of a ride. But them was the days when an old cowpoke could oil up his old insides. Well, they started her out at the Kentucky Bar, up there at the head of Whiskey Row. Been there? Still there. And they wound her up down at the Depot House, some 40 drinks below. Then they heads him up and they turns him around and they heads him the other way. I'm here to tell you folks, them boys got drunk that day.
Yeah.
Well, as they was headed back to camp and they was packing a pretty good load, who'd you think they'd meet but old Satan himself come prancing down the road? "You cowboy skunks, you better hunch a hole, 'cause I've come up from hell's rim rock to gather in your soul." Now Buster Jiggs said, "Mr. Devil," he said, "I know we've been to town and we're feeling kind of tight, but you ain't gonna get this cowboy soul, not without one heck of a fight." So he punched a hole in his old throwing rope and he slung her straight and true, and he roped that devil right around them horns, and then he took his dallies true. Now Sandy Bob, he was a riata man. He had that rope all coiled up neat. He just built himself a loop and he roped that devil's hind feet. Then they stretched him out on that desert ground, and as their irons was a-getting hot, well, they just cropped and swallow forked his ears, and then they branded him up a lot. Then they tied some knots in that devil's tail, their idea of a little joke, and they just left him there bellering, necked up to a lilac jack oak. So if you're ever traveling in them Syrie Peaks and you hear just one heck of a wail, yeah, like that, that's nothing but old Satan himself, still raising Cain about them knots in his tail.
Very well done.
Thank you.